Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Did you want to tell the judge now?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is the jail. I just wanted to advise the court of a few houses that refused or could not come down, which would be Ruby Robert refused. Conver is still making his way down from housing.
Great.
And Moreno Saul was continued. And Rizzuti Tyler also refused.
So how many times have these folks refused? It looks like Ruby refused yesterday as well. So how many times? Sorry.
I-
I think this is technically
Yeah.
Ruby has that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Give you such.
So Ruby has refused how many times before?
This would be the second time.
All right. So he's going to need to, I would say, appear tonight for his IA. So unless there's a medical reason he can't, let's try to not allow him to refuse tonight. Moreno, is this his first refusal?
No, this is the third one at least.
How many times?
Third. This would be the third.
And is he just refusing, or is he got medical reasons or other reasons why he's not here?
I believe Mr. Pugh was sad.
Okay, so that's another one. If it's his third refusal, at some point, we do have to address these issues. So if you can work with him and let him know he needs to come down, maybe we can put him on the end of the calendar today. I want it to be at the safety, his safety and the safety of all of you there at the jail as well. But at some point, we can't allow them to continue to refuse to participate.
Sure.
And then Mr. Rosetti, what about that one?
Rizzuti, this would be the second, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, so let's show that Mr. Rizzuti, like Mr. Ruby, needs to appear for his IA tonight.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so we have those refusals and you're bringing Mr. Conver, so we're going to deal with him this morning. Is there anyone else that has refused?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Monty, when I send these back to you, can you put that they are ordered to appear at the PM session in that little note? Yes.
I won't get to my mouth.
See that.
Did I send all three of them back to you, Muddy? Or did I just send two? Okay. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Valentine Lipkcom.
Is this a felony?
Yep.
All right, Mr. Lipscomb, you were here today for your initial appearance on 2 counts of aggravated assault. They are felony offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. Today, we're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you do have attorney seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. We're here to talk about your conditions of release. I've reviewed some information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report for me that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances. It looks like you have a hold from the adult probation department. So regardless of what we do on this particular matter today, you are going to be held until your probation matter is resolved. I've had a chance to review the state's recommendation. They're asking for a $10,000 bond. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
Me? No, Judge.
Do you have something you want to share though?
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize, Your Honor. He has something he wants to share. May I just speak to him for 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Your Honor. He understands that he says he's going to be sentenced to prison in another case, so he understands that he's going to be held. I was going to ask for a nominal bond, but he seems to want, he's not really that concerned with what the bond amount is, so.
I don't want any.
He doesn't want any bond, but I think let's do some bond.
So
Okay?
I am going to do a $10,000 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond on this case, Mr. Lipscomb, then you'll be released to pretrial. You do have to participate in any monitoring or treatment that they require. Stay in contact with them. No firearms are permitted. You're not permitted to have any alcohol and obviously no illegal drugs. You're not to have any contact with the victim there at the jail. They will, I'm sure, stay separated from you as well. Your next hearing in this matter is going to be September 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's a preliminary hearing. That hearing may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences that happen if you don't show up to court?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand the conditions of release I've imposed today?
I have to post a bond to go to prison as well.
No.
No. They're gonna, if you end up going to prison, you're gonna have to resolve this case as well before you go to prison probably. But your attorney can talk with you about that. It looks like you have 2 other matters plus your probation hold and now this one. So your attorney can help you navigate all of those things. You're all done for today.
Here we go. Got a picture, okay?
All right.
We'll find out who you said your attorney's name is what? I can't take it. I'm not allowed to take that off. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, thank you, Your Honor. Is this also felony?
Okay, I'm
What's your name?
here, but I mean, I'm happy
What's your name?
What's up, you?
Hassan?
Yeah.
Okay, I have yours. Um, you were not aware you.
I was not around, was not aware of.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, whatever we can.
Did you go to the wrong house, do you think? Did
I
you
went to every house, every courthouse, and they're telling me they don't see me in the system.
Okay, hi, sir, tell me your name.
My name is Lugandi.
Mr. Lugandi, you are here today for your initial appearance on a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court for charges of aggravated assault and kidnapping. You do have family present in the courtroom on your behalf here today. We're here to set conditions of release in this case. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. We're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. We need to talk about your conditions of release. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. They've prepared a report that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances. I've also had a chance to review the state's recommendation. It does look like they're asking for a $50,000 bond. However, what I will note is it looks like you posted that bond previously and then didn't show up for your arraignment. So I'm inclined to impose a higher bond this time to make sure that you make your appearance. Mr. Poston, do you have anything to add?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Plante?
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask you to consider not posting a higher bond. Mr. Lugandi tells me that and he also told pretrial services this, that essentially he wasn't aware of the arraignment date. And so he does want to attend his arraignment. He just wasn't aware. He said that he was calling, I think because maybe things get switched from the justice courthouse to the superior courthouse for felonies. He said he was contacting the court and he didn't have a court date. It may have been that he was contacting the justice court and not the superior court. I would note that he's lived here for 8.5 years. And he does have housing, Your Honor, which was verified by his mother, who agrees that he can continue to live with the family.
So I will keep the bond at $50,000 cash or secured. Mr. Lugandi, if you post that bond this time, then you're going to be released to pretrial services. You have to participate in whatever that agency asks you to do, any monitoring or treatment they require, and you have to stay in contact with them. You are not allowed to have any contact with the victim in this case or go anywhere near the incident location. You're not to go anywhere near where the victim lives or works, have any kind of electronic communication, no texting, absolutely nothing. You're not allowed to have any firearms while this case is going on, and you may not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand all of those conditions of release?
Yeah.
Your next court date is September 19th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That is going to take place in Pima County Superior Court, 110 West Congress. That is downtown. It will be on the 3rd floor. You have to appear at that date and time in that courthouse, or they're going to issue a warrant for your arrest. If you post bond and get released, it is your responsibility to appear at that date and time. If you're still in custody, the jail will make sure that you appear via video, much like you're doing here today. Do you understand the consequences if you don't show up for court?
Yes.
And are you clear on where your court date is going to be and when you need to be there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're all done for today. The JPO one. You can ask him, okay?
Your Honor, I was able to get Rudy, Robert, Philip down for court, and in the process of trying to bring Conver Nathaniel down, who's just not cooperating with our staff.
So I'm
So
gonna,
he was.
I mean,
Yesterday I did last night, yeah. No, I'll do it this morning.
I don't know who's talking. All right, sorry. So let's go back, jail with Mr. Conver. I did send over the order. Let's see how he does. If he's not gonna bring this morning, he is gonna have to be brought this evening. I was just hoping, since I was prepared to deal with it today, that we could do that. So I'll send you the order. Let's see what we can do, even if we do him at the end of the calendar and have him brought down when things are calmer there for you. All right. Sir at the jail, tell me your name.
Robert Rudy,
Can I have that one back, Rudy?
Robert Rudy.
I heard you, Mr.
Okay.
Rudy. Hang on, we're just getting your file, okay?
Sure.
He doesn't realize.
No reason to be scared. Give me just a minute. What? Oh, that's why. That's why. All right, Mr. Rudy, so you're here today on charges out of Tucson City Court involving shoplifting. It looks like you haven't been coming to court, so they issued a warrant for you. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release today.
What does that mean?
It means that I can either hold you in jail if you're not going to go to court, or you can promise me that if I give you a court date, you're actually going to go to Tucson City Court and get your cases resolved, and then you can be released.
I'll go to court. I'll do conditions of release.
You want to be released and go to court?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if I release you, when you get out, you're going to have a piece of paper that they're going to give you that's going to have your court date and time, and you have to go to city court. How are you going to get to city court?
On the bus.
You're good at using the bus?
Yes, I am, ma'am.
Okay. Hang on. Yep, you do have another bond. What's his other bond for, jail? I don't have any other information, so I'm blind on that.
We're checking right now, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Rudy, I'm going to release you on this case, but it sounds like you have something else holding you. So the jail's going to tell me what that is in just a minute. Okay?
Your Honor, he's being held on a felony for facilitate shoplifting.
All right. So, Mr. Rudy, the only case I'm seeing you on is the misdemeanor today. So I'm going to release you, but you're not going to get out of jail until your felony gets taken care of. Okay? But once your felony gets taken care of, this is not going to hold you. So I'm going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. And then we're going to set a hearing out a little ways in city court. October 31st at 9 a.m. is going to be your hearing in Tucson City Court. If you're out of jail by then, you do have to appear. They could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that?
What is my felony court?
I don't know, because I don't have any information on that. Do you know who your attorney is?
No, I don't.
Okay. Someone from the public defenders or legal defenders should be appointed to represent you in your felony case. So hopefully someone will be out to talk with you soon. And then I'm also going to tell you, don't go back to wherever the shopliftings occurred in the city cases, okay? 4910 North First. Don't go back to that place if you get out, okay?
Okay.
All right. You're all done for today, Mr. Rudy.
So what I do now?
You're gonna get released.
Did
No, he's not
okay,
gonna get released.
Got it.
Hey.
Sorry, I was not.
Rudy, I can explain it to you. So you got released on this case, but you have another case that's holding you in here. Okay. So the judge released you on that case that she just saw you on. But you're gonna stay in jail until you resolve your other issue. Okay. That makes sense? That makes sense. Okay.
Thank you for coming down, Mr. Rudy.
Welcome.
We'll see if they can't get him here because he's just being too difficult, then hopefully they can get him. I just figure it's easier to deal with him today. The calendar's not terrible. We have everybody. And we'll see what happens.
So we're bringing you over to the other felonies.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for letting me know. I actually really appreciate that because sometimes I'm looking at something and they come in and I don't even realize.
And then we'll hold on. Okay.
Chavez.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Francisco Javier Chavez III.
All right.
And Your Honor, this is the Spanish interpreter. Is Mr. Javier? Does Mr. Javier need the interpreter, Spanish interpreter?
That's what I'm going to ask. Sir. Sir,
Use one. Yes,
would you like to use the interpreter today?
can she be here just in case I need her?
Yes. Is that how you would like
Oh,
to
it-
proceed?
Oh.
Hang on, Madam Interpreter. So, Mr. Chavez, we have the interpreter here. If you're more comfortable speaking in Spanish, then she'll just translate to you everything that I say. I'm just going to ask that you listen until she's finished and then answer the questions, and you can answer in English or Spanish, whatever you're comfortable with. And it's entirely up to you. She's here, so if you're more comfortable speaking in Spanish, we can have her do the translation. If you want her to just be here and then ask her questions, you can do that too. She's not going to be able to answer legal questions for you. All she can do is relate the information. Do you understand?
Okay.
How would you like to proceed? Do you want to use the interpreter or not?
Yes,
All right. So tell me your full name again. We're going to use the interpreter this time.
Francisco Javier Chavez III.
Francisco Javier Chavez III.
This is
Yeah.
this is the time for your initial appearance. We're going to set your conditions of release today on charges of drug paraphernalia, possession of a narcotic drug, and possession of a dangerous drug.
Hoy es el día de su comparecencia inicial y vamos a fijar sus condiciones de liberación por los cargos de adminículos de drogas, por posesión de una droga narcótica y por posesión de una droga peligrosa.
You do have the right to remain silent on these charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney, and today we're going to appoint the legal defender's office to represent you.
Tiene derecho a permanecer en silencio. Cualquier cosa que diga puede ser utilizada en su contra. Y vamos hoy a asignar un defensor público para que lo represente.
You have an attorney seated with you for purposes of the hearing today.
Con usted tiene a su lado una abogada que es para asistirle a la audiencia del día de hoy.
Based on your charges, the drug charges, you may be eligible to participate in STEPS. That's a pre-indictment diversion program where if you agree to participate in substance abuse treatment and successfully complete the program, the state would not go forward with these felony charges.
Y usted es posible que tenga o que tenga derecho a participar en un programa de STEPS, que es un programa alternativo para sus cargos de droga, y en este sería donde usted le enviarían a participar en un programa de tratamiento de abuso de sustancias químicas, y si lo llega a completar de manera exitosa, la fiscalía no procede con los cargos de delitos graves.
Is that something you'd like to participate in?
Yes,
¿Y es algo que usted le gustaría participar?
yes.
We're going to set a hearing for you for next week, September 19th at 9 a.m. in Pima County Superior Court. You do have to go to that hearing to make sure you're eligible to participate.
Y vamos a fijar la audiencia para la próxima semana, el 19 de septiembre a las 9 de la mañana en el Tribunal Superior de Pima. Usted tiene que presentarse a esa fecha de corte para determinar si tiene derecho a participar en ese programa.
Counsel, in light of his charges and the steps, I am inclined to release him to pretrial. Do either one of you want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Y dice la juez que dado los cargos y de la posibilidad de que participe en el programa de STEPS, la juez está inclinada a liberarlo bajo los servicios previos al juicio. Les pregunta a los abogados si tienen algo que añadir y la respuesta es no.
So on these charges, Mr. Chavez, you're going to be released today to pretrial services. You have to stay in contact with that agency, participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You are not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol, obviously no illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on.
Y señora Chávez, usted van a liberar a los servicios previos al juicio el día de hoy. Usted tiene que mantenerse en contacto con esa agencia y realizar todos lo que ordenen en monitoreo y tratamiento. Y se ordena que no puede poseer ni consumir alcohol, obviamente no puede consumir, poseer drogas ilegales y tampoco tener armas de fuego.
Do you understand all those conditions of release?
Sí.
¿Comprende usted todas las condiciones de liberación? Yes.
Your next hearing, are we willing to waive time for the preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
So your
Y
next,
pregunta a la juez si está dispuesto el fiscal a renunciar al tiempo legal de la audiencia preliminar. Dice que sí el fiscal y ya va a seguir la juez. Thank you, Ana.
your next hearing after the one next week is going to be October 27th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing.
Bueno, y su próxima audiencia, después de la audiencia que tiene la próxima semana, va a ser el 27 de octubre a la 1:30. Esa audiencia va a ser su audiencia preliminar.
That hearing may or may not happen, but it's going to be important you stay in contact with your attorney because you are ordered to appear at hearings, and if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest.
Y puede que se realice o que no se realice esa audiencia, pero es muy importante que usted se mantenga en comunicación con su abogado porque se le ordena que se presente a todas las audiencias. Si no se presenta, se puede emitir una orden en su contra.
Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear for court?
Yes.
¿Comprende cuáles son las consecuencias si no se presenta en corte?
Yes.
We also need to talk about a misdemeanor domestic violence case. You have charges today of criminal damage and disorderly conduct. They are domestic violence related.
También necesitamos hablar de unos delitos menores, de un caso de violencia doméstica. Se le acusa de daños a propiedad ajena y de alteración al orden público, que son delitos relacionados a violencia doméstica.
This is the time for your initial appearance and arraignment on those charges. You are presumed innocent, and we're going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf.
Y este es el día de su comparecencia inicial para esos cargos. Usted se le presume inocente y se va a sentar declaración de no culpable.
I am going to release you on that case as well. Your victim is the mother, and she does welcome contact with you, but you are to commit no acts of domestic violence.
Bueno, yo lo voy a liberar en ese caso y la víctima es su mamá. Ella sí permite contacto con usted, pero se ordena que no puede tener ningún otro acto de violencia doméstica.
Your next hearing in Tucson City Court is going to be October 13th at 9:30 in the morning in front of Judge Varela.
I'm sorry, the name of the judge, Your Honor?
Varela.
Thank you. La próxima fecha de corte va a ser en el Tribunal Municipal de la ciudad de Tucson, el 13 de octubre a las 9:30 frente al juez Varela.
If you fail to appear for that hearing, they can issue a warrant for your arrest. They can also go forward with that hearing in your absence and set future hearings, including a trial in your absence. If you can't be sentenced within 90 days of being convicted at trial, you could lose your right to an appeal.
Bueno, y si usted no se presenta a las fechas de corte, usted se puede emitir una orden de arresto en su contra. Las audiencias pueden proceder sin su presencia. Se pueden fijar futuras fechas de audiencia, incluso el juicio, sin que usted esté presente. Y si no se puede imponer la pena en un periodo de 90 días, si se le haya culpable y usted no se presenta, usted pierde el derecho a una apelación directa.
Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear for your hearing in city court?
Yes.
¿Y usted comprende sus consecuencias de no presentarse al tribunal municipal? Yes.
You're all done for today.
Ya
Your Honor,
terminamos por hoy.
Your Honor, I apologize. Did you say public defender or legal defender for him?
Legal defender.
Está,
Okay,
está preguntándole a la juez si habló de defensor público o defensor legal. Es el defensor legal que le va a asignar.
Okay.
You're all done, sir.
Está bien, ella dijo
Ya terminamos.
defensor público en español.
Okay. Gracias.
Interesting. No.
And Your Honor, the jail, we have Conver Nathaniel.
Great. Good morning, Mr. Conver. This is the,
It's not me.
it's not you? Okay, so the jail did some fingerprints. Do you have a different name that you want me to call you today? Because that's who they have you identified as. All right, so the jail has done fingerprints. Mr. Conver, this is the second time that I'm seeing you for your initial appearance on a West Mesa Justice Court case and also a Tucson City Court case. Yesterday, when you were before me, the jail indicated that fingerprints identified you as being Nathaniel J. Conver III. So that's how I'm going to address you today. You do have the right to remain silent, or again, out of West Mesa Justice Court. They do have a warrant for your arrest for a larceny charge up there. You have the right to remain silent. I am going to impose a bond on that case of $100. That is going to be a cash or secured bond. Your next court date in that matter is going to be October 1st at 8 o'clock in the morning at West Mesa Justice Court. If you do end up getting released here, we're going to talk about your city court case first. Then you're going to be transported up there once the jail contacts them. They'll have a period of time to come to get you. You're also here for Tucson City Court charges involving disorderly conduct and refusing to provide information to law enforcement. You do have the right to remain silent on those charges as well. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you on those charges, Mr. Conver. I am going to impose a bond on that case of $100. That is going to be a cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, you're not permitted to return to the incident location or have any contact with the victims in the disorderly conduct case. Your next court date at Tucson City Court is going to be September 19th at 1:45. And that is going to be a video review hearing. So what'll happen is you'll be brought before a judge at city court, much like you're doing here today. If you post that $100 and you get released, your next hearing is going to be October 13th at 9 o'clock in the morning. Someone from the City Public Defender's Office should be out to talk with you, and you can talk with them about the name issues. So those are your initial appearances for those two charges. It's also the time for your arraignment on your city court cases. You are presumed innocent. We're entering not guilty pleas on your behalf. If you do fail to appear for court, Mr. Conver, they can issue a warrant for your arrest. In the city court matters, they could also go forward in your absence with those hearings and set future hearings in your absence, including a trial. If you get convicted at trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. So I know you're at least understanding the things that I'm telling you based on your reactions and the fact that you told me that it wasn't your name when I said your name. And it appears that you don't want to participate in this process. Is that what's going on today? You just don't want to participate? So we'll just note that Mr. Conver continues to have his head down. I know he's been difficult with staff and other folks at the jail. So Mr. Conver, you're all done with these proceedings today. You've now had your initial appearance. Thank you, jail.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. It says 24 on mine, so if you can change it to 72, that would be great. Well, I think the problem is because he's got this. What I don't want to have happen is having me out in front of the city. So what I didn't do on Converse is check the meeting out of county, and I don't know what box to check up here. So you guys need to do that to show that he's got that West Mesa case as well.
We'll just cross that off and put
West Mesa.
West Mesa.
Yeah, so we have both of those. Thank you.
Oh, that's, oh,
You'd be able to charge it.
got it.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
He's a banished, Your Honor.
Señor, por
Joan,
favor, me dice su nombre.
Sí, Juan Francisco Valenzuela Martínez.
Joan Francisco Valenzuela Martínez.
Ajá.
Sir, you were here today on charges of narcotic drug possession, dangerous drug possession, possession of a deadly weapon in a drug offense, and possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited possessor.
Bueno, y señor, está usted a cargo de, está recibiendo cargos por posesión de un narcótico, posesión de una droga peligrosa, por posesión de una arma mortífera, por un delito de drogas y posesión de armas sin tener derecho a poseer un arma.
This is the time for your initial appearance on those charges. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Esta es tu comparecencia inicial para esos cargos. Usted tiene derecho a permanecer en silencio y cualquier cosa que diga puede ser usada en su contra.
You do have the right to an attorney on these felony charges. We're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for the hearing today.
Y usted tiene derecho a un abogado para estos delitos graves. Vamos a asignar a la Defensoría Pública para que lo represente y tiene sentado a su lado una abogada para el propósito de hoy.
I've had a chance to review some information provided by pretrial services that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the case. It also tells
Y
me,
yo tuve la oportunidad.
go ahead.
Y yo tuve la oportunidad de revisar la información proporcionada por los servicios previos al juicio que me dice un poco sobre usted y sobre las circunstancias de su caso.
It looks like you are currently on federal probation or parole. Jail, does he have a hold yet?
Yeah, they just informed
Y
me.
parece ser que actualmente tiene una retención por parte de Libertad Condicional Federal y Probatoria Federal y le pregunta a la cárcel si tiene una orden de retención. Si dicen que sí.
Jail, what's the hold?
ATF, you said? ATF hold, Your Honor.
Sorry, Trevor.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Megan Trevor asked for what ATF stands for.
Alcohol, tobacco, firearms.
Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
Tiene una retención por el Burú de Alcohol y Armas de Fuego.
So regardless of what I do on this case today for your conditions of release, you're going to be held until that matter can be taken care of.
Y sin importar lo que yo pueda hacer sobre su caso el día de hoy, en sus condiciones de liberación, usted va a ser retenido hasta que ese caso sea aclarado o resuelto.
I've had a chance to review the state's recommendation for conditions of release. They're asking for a $25,000 cash or secured bond. That is my inclination today.
Y yo le pregunté a la fiscalía cuáles son las recomendaciones de liberación y ellos están recomendando una fianza de $25,000 en efectivo con garantía y eso es lo que estoy pensando ordenar.
Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
No, Judge.
Le pregunta a la jueza al señor Poston si quiere hablar algo adicional, dice que no.
Ms. Conflente?
Yes, I mean, he is going to be held no matter what, Your Honor, but I would ask for a lower bond than that, considering that he is going to be held either here or I don't think he's going to post bond just to go back to another court system. I would note that his priors are nonviolent, two nonviolent priors. It looks like the drugs that he possessed was a personal possession amount, a small amount of drugs. And it does look like he has been residing here for 7 years.
Bueno, yo sí le solicito que sin importar lo que suceda, él de todos modos va a estar retenido, pero sin embargo solicito que se le imponga una fianza más baja, porque sin importar si llega a pagar la fianza, lo van a retener por el otro sistema judicial para volver a ser retenido. Entonces, también indico que no tiene los antecedentes que tiene previos son solamente 2 delitos no violentos. Además fue encontrado con una posesión de drogas de uso personal por una cantidad pequeña y lleva viviendo aquí 7 años.
I am going to impose a $25,000 cash or secured bond today. If you post that bond, then you'll be released to pretrial services.
Yo voy a imponer una fianza hoy de $25,000 en efectivo con garantía. Si usted paga la fianza hoy, va a ser liberado a los servicios previos al juicio.
If you do get released to pretrial, you have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct, stay in that contact with that agency as directed. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms.
Si usted es liberado a los servicios previos al juicio, tiene que participar en el programa de monitoreo y tratamiento y también mantenerse en contacto con esa agencia. Y usted no tiene permitido poseer o consumir alcohol, drogas ilegales ni armas de fuego.
Do you understand all those conditions of release?
¿Comprende todas sus condiciones de liberación?
Sí.
Yes.
Your next court hearing is a preliminary hearing on September 22nd at 1:30. That hearing may or may not occur.
Su próxima fecha de juicio de audiencia es una audiencia preliminar para el 22 de septiembre a la 1:30 y puede que ocurra o que no ocurra esa audiencia.
You are expected to appear at all your future hearings, and if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest.
Se espera que comparezca a todas sus audiencias futuras y si usted no se presenta, se puede emitir una orden de arresto en su contra.
Do you understand the consequences if you don't show up for court?
Sí.
¿Comprende las consecuencias de no presentarse a corte? Yes.
You're all done for today, sir. Thank you.
Ya terminamos por hoy, señor, y gracias.
Madam Interpreter, thank you so much. I think that's all of our Spanish speakers.
Thank you, Interpreter will now disconnect.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Tyler Rizzuti.
Can I get Rosetti back?
You were just.
Cyrus.
Yeah, I did. This one popped up lately. I haven't. Okay, but I see now.
Thank you.
Who's cancel here? So she's gonna ask you.
All right. So, Mr. Rizzuti, you were here today on felony charges of third-degree burglary and theft of a credit card. This is the time for your initial appearance on those charges. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney Today, we're going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the proceedings here today. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me that you have a number of Pima County Superior Court cases, justice court cases, and you're also on probation. As a result of your probation hold, or as a result of being on probation, they placed a hold. So no matter what we do on your conditions of release here today, which is what we're here to set, you're not going to be released until your probation matter is resolved. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. I'm inclined to impose the $7,500 cash or secured bond on this case. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Mrs. Mente?
He's okay with that, not Your Honor.
All right. So I am going to impose a $7,500 cash or secured bond on this case. Mr. Rizzuti, if you post that bond, then you're going to be released to pretrial services. If you do post bond and get released and get your other matters resolved, you have to report to pretrial services as directed. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. You can't have any firearms. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victims in this case or return to the incident location where that burglary occurred. Do you understand all those conditions of release?
Yes.
Your next court hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing on September 22nd at 1:30. That hearing may or may not occur, but it is your responsibility to show up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you don't go to court?
Yes.
You're all done for today.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
So do I hit republish for you to save the changes? It won't let me do save changes.
Okay.
Now I have a,
I was gonna use the restroom, so we're doing it. Okay, good. Maybe excuse for a moment, Your Honor, during the misdemeanors.
yeah.
Okay.
An error has occurred, so it doesn't like that. Hi, sir. Give me just a minute. We're dealing with some computer issues. All right, now it went away for me, Marty, so I don't know what it did. All right, tell me your name.
Hector Abril.
Mr. Gabriel, you are here today on charges out of Tucson City Court involving criminal damage, disorderly conduct, shoplifting, drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass, a DV count, and another count of criminal trespass. You do have the right to remain silent on all of these charges.
I think that's me.
There's
Oh.
Yeah, there's two left. Two April.
Yep, you're right.
Hector.
Sorry, Hector. Hang on. Let me try that.
I'm
again.
scared. Got me scared for a little bit.
I was ready to move on to the city cases. All right, all right. How about a count of DV disorderly conduct? Does that sound like what you're here for? Marty, where do I go back to? Oh, there's the adjudication ones. All right. And it looks like you have another matter out of city court as well. It looks like an arrest warrant for failing to appear on some drug charges. So you have a couple of different matters. For Hector Abril. It's not city, it's justice court. Okay, hang on.
There we go.
Too many things going on today. Give me just a minute. I want to make sure I have all of the right information up on my computer screen for you.
Okay.
So Hector, is it Gabriel Castillo?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yeah.
So you are here for two Pima County Justice Court matters. One of them involves a warrant for your arrest and for drug paraphernalia and a marijuana violation from 2012.
Wow.
2012. So it looks like you did not show up to court for that case. And then we have the new charge. So I'm sure when you got arrested on this case, sir, they found that old warrant. The new charge that you're here for today is a domestic violence disorderly conduct charge. You do have the right to remain silent on all of these matters. Anything you say can and will be used against you. If I release you today, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I'm going to release you on both of these matters today. For that drug case, you're going to be back in justice court on September 26th at 10 o'clock in the morning in front of Judge Garza. You do have to appear at that date and time on that old case and get it resolved, or they can issue a warrant. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And then on your domestic violence case, I'm going to release you on that one as well. You're going to have that same court date, September 26th at 10 on that case as well. Your additional condition of release is that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. I was able to review some information today. It looks like the victim in that case is your sister, and she is welcoming additional contact with you. So do you understand that additional condition of release, no acts of domestic violence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you've got that court date. When you get released later today, you're going to get copies of your paperwork. It will have that court date and time, and that looks like it's 10:30. Hang on a second. So we want him in front of Garza on both at 10? Okay, September 26th at 10 a.m. That is your confirmed date to appear. All right, any questions at all, Mr. Brill, about what we've done here today?
I'll figure out how many, like, what, where.
Yeah, the rest of it you'll have to figure out when you get there. I just want to make sure you understand for today, you're being released and you just need to show up at your court date, okay?
Okay.
Right, you're all done.
Thank you.
You too.
Well,
Hi, sir, tell me your name.
Daniel Bulock.
Mr. Bullock, you are here today on charges of assault. It looks like it's a warrant out of justice court. We're also here to talk about some city court cases. This is the time for your initial appearance where we set conditions of release. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. On your justice court matter, I am going to impose a bond today. It's going to be a $500 cash bond. If you post that bond, then you're going to be released and you're not allowed to have any contact with the victim of that assault case. Do you understand those conditions of release?
Yep.
We're gonna appoint Amanda Bynum to represent you today. Your next hearing in this case is gonna be September 15th at 1 o'clock. That's gonna be Monday at 1. You'll appear via video, just like you're doing here today in front of a justice court magistrate so that you can get this resolved. If for some reason you post that bond and get released, you are going to have to appear on your own at justice court. And if you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Sure.
Right. Now we need to talk about your city court cases. It looks like you have charges of drug paraphernalia, assault, threatening and intimidating, obstructing or refusing to cooperate with law enforcement, disorderly conduct, 3 more drug paraphernalia cases, and 2 more criminal trespass cases or charges. You have the right to remain silent on those as well. I am going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you on those matters. I am going to impose a bond on that case also of $500. If you do get released on your bonds, you're not to have any contact with the victims or return to the incident locations. Do you understand those conditions in your city court case?
Sure.
Your next hearing is going to be a video review hearing on September 19th at 1:45. That's going to be in front of a city court judge. If you post your bond, then your next court hearing will be October 15th at 9 a.m. You do have to make sure you show up to court. If you stay in custody, they'll make sure you make the video appearance, but if you get released, you're gonna have to show up on your own or they'll issue warrants for you. Do you understand that, Mr. Bullock? All right, you're all done.
Rodriguez, here.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, tell me your name.
Sierra Danae Rodriguez.
Ms. Rodriguez, you are here today on a couple of justice court matters. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So you're here for disorderly conduct, assault, and another count of disorderly conduct. If I release you on these charges today, you are not going to be allowed to return to the incident location or have any contact with the victim, Cassandra Buelna or Bethany Contreras. You're
Yes,
also
Your Honor.
not going to be able to return to where they're living. You're going to have to find some other place to go. Do you have some other
Yes.
place you can go?
Yes, I do, Your Honor, I do.
And will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you?
Of course I do. I
All right.
promise.
All right. So we're going to release you on your matters today. And it looks like there's, yeah, they're all, both cases involve the same group.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm going to release you. As I've said, you can't have any contact with the victims in this case or return to the incident location. Don't go anywhere near where they are living or working. If you violate that order, you could find yourself getting arrested and back in custody. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Commit no acts of domestic violence. Your next hearing is going to be September 22nd at 10:30 in the morning at Justice Court. You do have to appear at that date and time. If you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the
Yes.
consequences if you don't go to court?
Yes, I do. And I do have a question as well, Your Honor.
Okay.
As for the warrant that I came in for, is that gonna be quashed?
Yes. Let me ask you one question first and I'll explain that in just a second. Do you need to
Yes.
return, do you need to return back to that location to get any of your belongings for any reason?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
My mother and them are figuring that out for me, so there won't be no issues with any of that.
Great. Okay. So yes, essentially, being released today, you have the same court date now for both of those cases. So there is no longer an active warrant for you. That has been resolved. That's not an issue.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
So you do need to make sure that you go back to that or make it to your court date. If you don't, then they could issue another warrant for you. But as of today, these matters are essentially taken care of until your court hearing.
Yes, it will be taken care of. I've been taking care of everything that I need to, Your Honor, so
Good.
I will take care of it.
Good. You're all done.
Have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Gabriel, Jesus.
Tell me your name.
Jesus Francisco Abril.
Mr. Gabriel, you were here today on Tucson City Court charges of DV criminal damage, DV disorderly conduct, shoplifting, drug paraphernalia, DV criminal trespass, and another count of criminal trespass. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. This is also the time for your arraignment on these charges. You are presumed innocent. We're going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. I've had a chance to review in some information provided by pretrial services, tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. Looks like your father is the victim. Pretrial service was unable to reach him, but if I release you on these charges today, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes, of course.
You're also going to have to promise not to have any contact with your dad. You can't do that until some court changes that in the future. Do you understand?
Okay.
So I am going to release you today on your promise to appear. You're to commit no acts of domestic violence.
Yeah, I'll commit nothing. I will commit no crimes at all.
You're not allowed to have any contact with your father. Do not go to where he's living or working or the incident location. Do you understand all of those conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Your next court date is going to be October 16th at 9 o'clock in the morning at Tucson City Court. When you get released later today, you're going to get a copy of your court paperwork that's going to have that date and time. You'll be seeing Judge Varela. You do have to appear. If you don't, they'll issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with the hearings in your absence and set future hearings in your absence, including a trial. If you get convicted at trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences if you don't show up to court?
Yeah.
We're all done for today.
Thank you. Tackle.
Hey, tell me your name.
Name's Keyshawn Chappelle.
Mr. Chappelle, you are here today on charges of criminal damage and domestic violence assault. Both of these are domestic violence charges, and you also have a probation violation warrant out of Tucson City Court. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We are going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these new cases today. I am going to impose a bond in the amount of $1,000 cash on this. I believe you're already being held on the other matter in front of Judge Million. You're going to see Judge Million on this matter as well. You are not to have any contact with the victim in this case. If you do post bond and get released, you're not allowed to return to the victim's residence. Don't go anywhere near where she is living or working. Do you understand that? Those are the court's orders at this time. Regardless of what she wants, you're not allowed to have contact with her. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
This order applies to you while you remain in jail as well, which means that while you may be given contact or the ability to contact people via tablet, phone, whatever, you are not allowed to have any contact with her. All of the jail call visits and calls are recorded, so they're going to know if that happens. Do you understand that that order applies to you while you remain in custody?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Your next hearing is going to be in front of Judge Million on October 1st at 1:45. If you post your bond and get released, it is your responsibility to appear. Otherwise, the jail will make sure that you appear for that hearing. If you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with the hearing in your absence and set future hearings, including a trial in your absence. If you get convicted at trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences if you fail to appear?
Yes, Judge.
You're all done for today.
Thank you.
Conver.
Scarbor.
And Scarbor, you're here today on 2 counts of disorderly conduct. They are domestic violence cases. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. Looks like you have another city court case going on already with the same victim. It looks like there's also, yep, it's the same one. So what we're going to do is, if I release you today, Ms. Garber, you may not have any contact with Andrew Garber, your husband. Do you understand that? And are you willing to abide by that if I release you?
Yes, yeah, I prefer it that way, so yes.
Okay, is there any reason you need to return to the incident location or where he is to get any of your belongings?
I don't believe so.
Okay, you're not going to be permitted to do that. So do not go back to wherever he's living or working. Don't go back there. You're not to commit any acts of domestic violence and don't have any contact with him. This is also the time for your arraignment on these 2 charges. You're presumed innocent. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. I am releasing you today based on the conditions that we've spoken about. Do you understand your conditions of release?
I do.
Your next court date is going to be in front of Judge Million, and that's going to be on October 2nd at 9 o'clock in the morning, and that's obviously at Tucson City Court. You do have to appear at that date and time. If you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence and set future hearings in your absence, including a trial. If you get convicted at trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences if you don't show up for court?
Yes, I do.
And this will be the hearing date for both of your cases in Tucson City Court. So I don't know if you had other dates, but now they've been consolidated. So the next time you have to appear for both cases is going to be on October 2nd at 9.
That was my only question. Thank you.
All right, when you get released later today, you'll get copies of your court paperwork. It's going to have that date and time and also your conditions of release. Make sure you grab that before you leave the jail.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're all done.
Thank you, thank you.
So,
Hi, tell me your name.
Dylan Stephen Michael Presiato.
Mr. Presiato, you are here today for your initial appearance and arraignment on charges of criminal damage and disorderly conduct. These are domestic violence offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say kind of will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release. You are presumed innocent on the charges. We're going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. I've had a chance to review some information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances of the offense. Looks like your spouse is the victim in this case. You are not going to be allowed to have any contact with her if I release you on these charges today. Are you going to abide by that condition if I release you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I am going to release you today. Will you promise to show up at the court date I'm about to give you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm releasing you. Your conditions of release are to commit no acts of domestic violence and have no contact of any kind with Grace Budniak. Do not go anywhere near where she is living or working. Your next court date is going to be October 21st at 1:30 in the afternoon at Tucson City Court. Do you understand the conditions of release I've imposed today?
Yes.
If you fail to appear for your hearing on October 21st at 1:30, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence and set future hearings in your absence, including a trial. If you get convicted at trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences if you fail to appear for court?
Yes, ma'am.
You're all done for today.
I have a question. Sorry. So all my belongings are at the residence I share with her. Would I just be able to grab those and take them away and not talk to her again or not contact her again?
So what I'm going to do is on your conditions of release form, when you get released today, you're going to get a copy of this piece of paper. You're now going to make sure that you have that with you. I've just checked a box that says you're allowed to return to the incident location one time to retrieve your personal belongings, but you have to have law enforcement go with you. I think the information I had is that she may not. Do you guys live in a shared residence currently?
Yes.
She says she's not remaining there.
Okay, great.
But what I'm going to do is I don't go back there until you take law enforcement with you to make sure that she's not there. Okay.
Okay. I would just call like a personal number for like a police station.
So what you can do is take this form to a nearby substation and show it to them, or call 911 and let them know that you do have a court order to return to an incident location to collect your belongings. And then you will go there with them. Please don't go to the house and sit out in front of the house while you wait for law enforcement. Go to a nearby convenience store or something like that while you make contact until you're able to have law enforcement go into the residence with you. Okay.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Any other questions?
No, man, that's everything.
All right. You're all done.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, tell me your name.
So, Giovanni.
Ms. Bonnie, you were here today on several different matters. The first is a warrant out of South Tucson Court for a criminal trespass charge.
Huh?
You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. There's a $100 cash bond amount on that warrant, and I am going to impose that bond amount today. I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. That attorney is going to be Michael Vaughn.
What is it? What's
Michael Vaughn is going to be your attorney in that case.
what? Court?
Yep, he'll be there for court. Your next hearing is going to be Monday, September 15th at 10 o'clock in the morning. If you're still in custody and you don't post your bond, the jail will make sure that you get to your hearing or appear via video like you're doing today. If you don't show up, Miss Bonnie, they can issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand? If you don't show up for court, they could issue a warrant for you and you could get back in jail. Do you understand? Okay.
Yes.
Your next cases that we need to talk about are cases in Tucson City Court. You have multiple failures to appear involving criminal trespass, drug paraphernalia, and an indecent exposure charge. You have the right to remain silent on all of those. We're going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you on those cases. You're not allowed to return to any of the incident locations where any of the trespasses occurred or have any contact with the victims. I am going to impose a bond on your case. It's going to be a $500 cash bond. We also have to talk about your violation of probation. So there's a petition to revoke probation that has been filed. And it says that on January 6th of 2025, you were adjudicated guilty of 2 counts of criminal trespass, unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia, and then you failed to appear. You were placed on unsupervised probation for 24 months and signed some written conditions with them. The court petitioned to revoke your probation because there's reasonable cause to believe you violated your probation by failing to attend court hearings and ended up getting new charges. And again, you're being appointed the public defender's office to represent you. And your next hearings in all of these matters are going to be in front of Judge Blue. You're going to have a video review hearing on September 22nd at 1:45 in the afternoon. You should have someone from the city public defender's office contacting you before your hearing. You do have to appear at your hearings, ma'am, if you post your bond and get released. If you don't show up for court, like we talked about in your city, South Tucson case, they could issue a warrant for you. Do you understand what happens if you don't go to court? Have you seen Judge Blue before?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, you're gonna see him again on September 22nd at 1:45. You're all done for today, Miss Bonnie.
I'm sit in jail.
You have to stay in jail unless you post your bond, yes.
Okay.
I think I signed everything on that one, right?
Brandon.
Hi, tell me your name.
I'm Brandon Graham.
Middle name, Michael.
Yes, ma'am.
You're here today on a felony charge of criminal damage. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. Today, we're going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of these proceedings. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report for me that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances of the offense. We're here to talk about your conditions of release. I've reviewed the state's recommendation. Looks like we're all in agreement that you should be released to pretrial services. Does any other, do either parties need to be heard?
No, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Graham, you're going to be released to pretrial services today. You are going to have to stay in contact with that agency as directed. You're going to be ordered to participate in any monitoring or treatment. If you're ordered to participate in it, you do have to abide by that. You are not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not drive without a valid license. You're not permitted to have any firearms while this case is going on. Do not have any contact with the victims. Where that criminal damage occurred is where the victims are, and you're not to return to the incident location or have any contact with them. Do you understand all of those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date is going to be October 2nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you don't come to court?
I do, yes.
Since you're going to be out of custody, it's going to be very important that you stay in contact with your attorney. So please make sure you do that. You're all done for today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next. Olga. Next. Arthur. Or Arthur. Well, he is the animal.
Irwin.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Austin Irwin.
Mr. Irwin, you are here today on felony charges of narcotic drug paraphernalia and narcotic drug possession. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. In this matter, we're going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you today, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes. We're here to talk about your conditions of release. We're also going to have to talk about a Miranda warrant, and in reviewing some information provided by pretrial services, it looks like you're on probation and they have placed a hold on you. So regardless of what I do here today, you're going to be held until you can be seen on your probation matter. Do you understand all of that?
Yes.
Based on the nature of these new charges, the fact that you do have drug possession charges, you may be eligible on this new case, not anything that's happened before, to participate in STEPS. That's a pre-indictment diversion program, where if you agree to participate in substance abuse treatment and you successfully complete, if you qualify for the program, then the state would not go forward with these felony charges. Is that something you would like to participate in?
Yes.
Right. So you're going to see if you're eligible. The county attorney's office is going to review your case between now and the STEPS hearing date, which is going to be September 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning. You're very likely still going to be in custody at that time. So if you are eligible, you'll be transported to court on that day before the assigned judge that will handle the STEPS hearing. You'll have someone from the Public Defender's Office there on your behalf, and there will be substance abuse treatment providers also in the courtroom, along with pretrial services to let you know next steps once your probation matter is resolved. If you're not going to be eligible to participate, Mr. Irwin, they just won't take you to court. So that's how you will know, okay?
Okay.
All right. If you do, given what's going on, I am inclined to impose a bond. It's going to be a $2,500 cash or secured bond. Does either party wish to be heard further?
No, Judge.
I would ask maybe you consider it be a little more nominal, because if this is the Marana court case, you might get, it was Marana, I think you had said, Your Honor. There's a Pima County Superior Court one, I guess, too.
Yeah, he's got a probation hold for 3 felony cases.
Okay, Your Honor. That's fine. Yeah, I would ask for a more nominal bond, but
Okay.
Okay.
So, Mr. Irwin, I'm going to impose on this new case a $2,500 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond in this new case and get your other matters resolved, then you'd be released to pretrial services. You're going to have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. Do you understand those conditions of release?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next hearing after the steps hearing next week is going to be September 22nd at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That hearing may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand that as well?
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about your Marana case now. And that is a shoplifting case out of Marana. And you failed to appear in July of this year. It looks like the shoplifting happened back in October of 2024. So I'm going to release you on this case, Mr. Irwin. So you're not going to be held on the Marana matter. I'm going to set a court date for you, September 15th at 10 o'clock in the morning. By then, hopefully, all of the things going on with your felony cases will be under control. If you're still in custody, the jail will make sure that you appear likely via video or figure that out for you in front of Marana. But if you get released, regardless of what else is going on, you have to appear October 15th at 1 or at 10. And if you don't, Marana can issue a warrant for you. So if you end up going to residential treatment or doing something like that, you need to make sure someone knows so you don't just miss court October 15th at 10. Do you understand?
Good.
All right, you're all done for today.
Casino, Casey.
Hi, tell me your name.
Casey Casino.
Mr. Casino, you are here today on, it looks like a city court matter and then also an arrest warrant out of Maricopa County, it looks like, for narcotic drug possession, which is a class 4 felony. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. It looks like this dates back to May of 2021, your Maricopa County case.
Be aware.
So if I release you on this, Mr. Casino, today, and I don't impose a bond amount, are you going to contact Maricopa County? And
Yes, sir. I've been trying to contact them. I've contacted them multiple times.
well, you're gonna have to figure out how to actually make contact and get that taken care of, or they're gonna keep issuing warrants for you. Do
I
you
understand.
So I am going to release you on the Maricopa case. When you get released, you're going to get a copy of paperwork. It's going to have the Maricopa County Superior Court phone number on it that will tell you to call for your next court date. So you do need to do that, okay?
Okay.
And then we have to talk about your Tucson City Court. And on that matter, you're here for a drug paraphernalia charge. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you. This is also the time for your arraignment. You're presumed innocent. We're going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf today. I'm going to release you on this case as well. You are going to have to appear at Tucson City Court on October 13th at 9:30 in the morning.
Okay.
If you do not appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence and set future hearings in your absence. And if they set future hearings, including a trial, and you get convicted at trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand that?
Understand.
Hang on, jail. So I have something that says probation violation warrant for him, but the piece of paper I looked at didn't look like it was a probation violation warrant. What, are you showing any kind of probation hold for him?
One moment.
Mr. Casino, I have to check. If there's a probation hold for you, then you're not going to end up getting released on that Maricopa case. What'll happen is the jail will let Maricopa know. So I'm willing to release you to have you get it taken care of. But if they have a hold in place for you, that's not going to happen. So let's see what the jail shows.
I think it's just the failure to appear.
That's what it shows for me, is that it was a failure to appear. Were you actually placed on probation, or was that still a pending case for you?
And I think it was pending.
A failure to appear, Your Honor. Nothing. I don't even have it.
Sorry, did the jail say that you do not have any holds?
Correct.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Casino, you're going to be released. I would make sure you get a hold of Maricopa County, because if they keep issuing warrants for you, you're going to find yourself back in this position, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, you're all done.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Jose Noriega.
Mr. Noriega, you are here today on charges of prohibited possessor, possessing a deadly weapon because you're a prohibited possessor, and also discharging a firearm in city limits. Looks like this is a warrant that was issued. And it looks like you were on release in another matter when this one happened, CR 2025-1764. As a result, the state is asking that you be held without bond, which they do have the ability to do. And we're going to set a hearing for you to determine if you'll continue to be held without bond or if a bond will be imposed. Mr. Poston, is that your position?
All accurate.
All right. It does look like the no bond is also what is indicated on that arrest warrant as well. And it looks like that was signed by Judge McGinley on September 11th. So at this time, Mr. Noriega, we were here to talk about your conditions of release. You are going to be held without bond. Your no bond hearing is going to take place on September 17th at 2:30 in Pima County Superior Court. We are going to appoint an attorney for you. I'm appointing the legal advocate's office to represent you today. You do have an attorney seated with you for this proceeding. Your next hearing after the no bond hearing on September 17th at 2:30 is going to be a preliminary hearing. That will be September 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. That hearing may or may not occur, but if you do end up getting a bond set and post it, you are expected to appear at all your future hearings. And if you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you do get released and don't show up for court?
Yes.
All right. You're all done for today. You should have an attorney in contact with you before your no bond hearing.
This number.
Rios.
Hi, tell me your name.
Rios-Martin Mario.
You are here today for your initial appearance on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, dangerous instrument, also disorderly conduct. These are felony charges. They're domestic violence offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. We're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you today. And you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of these proceedings. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report for me that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. I've also had a chance to review information provided by the state with respect to your conditions of release. That's what we're here to talk about today. The state is asking for a $25,000 cash for secured bond. That is my inclination today. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
Nothing further.
Ms. Conflente?
Yes, Your Honor, I would ask you to consider, I understand that, this involved a weapon, but it looks like, from what I was reading, first of all, he doesn't have any criminal history. He is employed he is employed. He has no criminal history. His family, it sounds like they were fighting. They were trying to get the gun away from him. It doesn't look like he was going to injure anybody because this family members were holding on to it. It seems like he may have been having some personal issues, maybe even potentially suicidal. So I think this might be more of a mental health situation, but the victim has no objection to his release. So for that reason, I would ask you to consider a lower bond than 25,000.
Mr. Rios Martin, I am going to impose a $25,000 bond today. That is going to be a cash or secured bond. If you do post that bond, then you're going to be released to pretrial services. You are going to have to stay in contact with that agency as directed, participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct, commit no acts of domestic violence. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. I'm sure the firearm you had at the time was taken by law enforcement, but if you have any others, you are ordered to surrender those to law enforcement. Your attorney can help you do that. I understand that your father and brothers, it looks like, did say that they were, actually your brother indicated he wanted further contact with you. Pretrial services was not able to get a hold of your dad. At this time, the order of the court is that you not have any contact with the victims in this case, and you're not allowed to return to the incident location. If that's where you're living and you do get released, you're going to have to find some other place to go unless the court changes this order in the future. Do you understand all of those conditions?
I understand.
Your next court date is going to be September 22nd at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you're expected to show up at all future court dates. And if you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you don't show up for court?
I understand.
If you remain in custody, the jail will make sure you get transported for your next hearing or have you appear via video like you're doing today. But if you post bond and get released, it's going to be very important you stay in contact with your attorney so you don't miss court. You're all done for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
How you doing? I'm Ray Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, your hands on felony charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. There are 2 counts. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. In this case, we're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. I've also had a chance to review the state's recommendation. They're asking for a $20,000 bond in this case. I am inclined to impose a bond. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
Nothing further, Judge.
Ms. Conflente?
Yeah, I would ask Gunnar to consider something as low as a $5,000 bond. He has a prior misdemeanor, but no failures to appear. So I don't think that would be an issue. And obviously, I don't know if that's the main concern of the court, but I did want to note that. And no felony history. He is employed. He's lived in Tucson for 15 years. When I was reviewing the interim complaint, obviously it's very little information given to us, but I did notice that they said that there was no firearm located. And at this point, it does seem a bit like a he said, she said between him and his neighbors that were already in an argument with him. So I don't know what would come from that, but I did note that, and there may be more involved in this case. And obviously is the presumption of innocence at this time.
I am going to impose a bond. It's going to be $7,500 cash or secured. Mr. Robinson, if you do post that bond, then you're going to be released to pretrial services. You do have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. Stay in contact with that agency as they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms. To the extent that you have any others, you do have to surrender those to law enforcement. You're not going to be permitted to have any contact with the victims or return to the incident location. Do you understand all those conditions of release?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date is going to be September 22nd at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That hearing may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, the court could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear for court?
Yes, ma'am.
Well done for today, sir. That's fine.
Valencia, Octavio.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Octavio Valencia.
Mr. Valencia, you were here today on felony charges involving unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle and possession of drug paraphernalia. You also have multiple misdemeanors out of Tucson City Court that we're going to talk about. We're going to handle your felony cases first. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. We're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you today. And you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing. We're here to talk about your conditions of release. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report for me that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances of the offense. I've also had an opportunity to review the state's recommendation as to your conditions of release. Although, looks like they're asking for a $5,000 cash or secure bond and release to pretrial services. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
Your Honor, I'm just breaking up. Was that a question of the state?
Yeah. If you want to be heard beyond your,
Okay.
Ms. Conflente?
I would ask you to consider release to pretrial services, Your Honor. This isn't, I mean, it's an offense, but it's a lower level, nonviolent offense, Your Honor. And he has been living in Tucson for 15 years, has housing and employment.
I'm looking at his criminal history. He does have a lot of failures to appear. And it looks like he just had a end sentence date June of 2024 after being in prison for 3 years. So, Mr. Valencia, I am going to impose a bond in this case to ensure your appearance. It's going to be a $2,500 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, then you'll be released to pretrial. You're going to have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. Report to them as directed. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. You can't have any firearms. Do you understand the conditions in the felony case?
Yes.
Your next hearing in that case is going to be September 22nd at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That hearing may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you don't show up to court?
Yes.
All right, we now need to talk about your misdemeanor matters. And there you have charges of domestic violence assault, criminal damage, which is also a domestic violence, fraud or use of a credit card without permission, disorderly conduct, assault and disorderly conduct, domestic violence offenses. You do have the right to remain silent on those. Anything you say can and will be used against you. In looking at pretrial services report, Mr. Valencia, neither of the victims in this case were able to be reached. So what that means is that if I release you on your city case, I know you're being held on your felony case, but if I release you on this one, You're not going to be allowed to have any contact with them unless a judge changes that in the future. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, so on this case, I am going to release you. I'm going to appoint the city public defender's office because you are being held on the felony case. So they're going to be talking with you. If you post your bond on the felony case, then you still will need to make sure you make contact with the city public defender on this one. So you're not going to be held on the city court charges. This is also the time for your arraignment on those charges. You're presumed innocent. We're going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. I'm going to set another court date for you, and that's going to be in front of Judge Bond on October 31st at 9 o'clock in the morning. You are going to have to appear at that date and time. If you get released, you certainly need to appear at that date and time. If you don't appear, city court could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward in your absence with that hearing and set future hearings, including a trial in your absence. If a trial gets set in your absence and you get convicted and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences if you don't show up for court?
Yes.
All right, you're all done for today. I don't think I wrote the names of the victims, that piece of paper.
I'm attorneys, I reach out to you. Or this was 2,900, yes.
Varela.
Give me just a second, sir. I'm just finishing up some paperwork.
Sorry, just trying to help you.
All right.
Sleep.
All right, sir, tell me your name.
Alejandro Varela.
Mr. Varela, you are here on multiple matters today. We have a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court, and you also have a couple of justice court matters that we need to talk about today. Had the opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. We're here to talk about your conditions of release on all of these matters. So the warrant out of Pima County Superior Court is for charges of aggravated domestic violence, 2 counts, aggravated harassment, 3 counts, aggravated domestic violence, 2 counts, aggravated harassment, 4 counts, aggravated domestic violence, 2 counts, and then a total of 5 more aggravated harassment charges. These are domestic violence related offenses. You do have the right to remain silent on all of these matters today. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. We're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. As I said, I've looked at some information by pretrial services, which tells me about the warrants that you have and also a little bit more about you and the circumstances. It looks like the adult probation department has placed a hold on you. So regardless of what I do on this case today for your conditions, you're going to be held until your probation matter can get resolved. With that, I am inclined to impose the $10,000 that I issued originally on this warrant. Does the state need to be heard further?
No, Judge.
Monday?
We would just ask for something lower, Your Honor, in case issues get resolved so that he's able to post.
All right. So Mr. Varela, on that felony warrant, I am going to impose the $10,000 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, then you'd be released to pretrial services. If your probation matter gets resolved as well, you do have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim in this case, go anywhere near where that person is living or working, or return to the incident locations. This order applies to you while you remain in custody. That means even though you may be given access to phones, tablets, and visits, you are not allowed to have any contact with that victim. Do you understand all the conditions of release that I've imposed today?
So,
Your next hearing is going to be your arraignment on September 19th at 1:30 in the afternoon. You are ordered to appear at that hearing. If you fail to appear, a warrant could be issued for your arrest. Do you understand that?
I do not.
All right, now we need to talk about your justice court matters. You have warrants for shoplifting, disorderly conduct. That looks like another drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in those matters. I am going to impose a concurrent bond of $500 cash or secured in those matters today. We're going to appoint Pete Gutierrez to represent you. He'll be your attorney going forward in those matters. Your next hearing is going to be September 15th at 11, and that will be in Pima County Justice Court. If you remain in custody, the jail will make sure that you appear for your next hearing. If for some reason you post your bond and get released, you are expected to appear at the hearing, or they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand again what happens if you don't show up to court?
I understand.
All right, you're all done for today.
Well,
Marty, I didn't say concurrent on all of those. Can you add that in there for me? And then can you add Gutierrez on the last matter as well, just to be consistent? Never mind, I think I got it. Give me just a minute, sir. I'll be right with you. I'm gonna set his hearing on the 15th at 11 on that last case as well. One of them's yeah. Oh, so I can't do the Green Valley one on the same date. Can I do Peter Gutierrez? Is his attorney on that one? I feel like it's crazy to have him be represented by two different attorneys. So. You don't want to do it. I just feel like it's kind of. Yeah, just let OCAC know that he's got two other justice court in this one, so I just appointed Gutierrez, and if he doesn't want anything to do with Green Valley, then. It just seems silly to have another attorney represent him. Yeah.
Oh.
And then that court date is going to be different than the ones that I gave him, so. That will go over with his paperwork, right? Yeah. Perfect.
I think it's fine.
Tell me your name.
God, Vulp.
Mr. Hamilton.
Judge Clay Hernandez. Volpe. Hearing telephonically.
Let your lawyer. Emails below the threshold.
All right, Mr. Volpe, you are here today. Mr. Volpe, I need you to pay attention to me. The person sitting next to you is an attorney with the public defender's office, but there's been a notice of appearance filed by Josh Hamilton, and the person that you heard on the phone is Clay Hernandez, who is his partner, and he is the person that will be representing you for purposes of today's hearing. This is the time for your initial appearance on charges of narcotic drugs for sale, possessing or using a weapon in a drug offense, being a prohibited possessor and being in possession of a weapon, and also possessing narcotic drugs. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this case. You have hired your own attorney. And so I'm going to note that for the record today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. They've given me some information about you and the circumstances. Jail, are you showing any kind of probation hold for him at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. We have an APO hold.
All right. So you are on probation, Mr. Volpe, in another matter. And your probation officer has placed a hold on you. So what that means is, regardless of what I do here today on your conditions of release, you're going to continue to be held until your probation matter can be dealt with. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. So as I've said, we're here to talk about your conditions of release today. The state is asking for a $7,500 cash or secured bond released to pretrial services if you post that. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez?
For a $5,000.
I am going to impose a $5,000 cash or secure bond amount on this case. Mr. Volpe, if you post that, then you'll be released to pretrial services. You're going to be ordered to maintain contact with that agency as directed, participate in any monitoring or treatment as directed. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not drive without a valid license, and you may not have any firearms while this case is going on. Do you understand all those conditions of release?
Yes.
And again, you're going to be held until your probation matter can be resolved. If you haven't been seen on that yet, you very likely will be seen in Superior Court either today at 2:30 or next week, Monday or Tuesday at 2:30 in the afternoon. And then you'll get a chance to figure out what's going on with that case. But for now, these are your conditions. I'm sure Mr. Hernandez or Mr. Hamilton will talk with you about what happens next. Your next hearing in this case, these new charges, is September 22nd at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That hearing may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you don't show up to court?
Yes.
All right, you're all done for today.
Thank you.
At the Ajo Jail, tell me your name. Ms. Conflenti, I think we're all done with those cases. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
My name is Juan.
Mr. Juan, you are here today for an initial appearance on a charge out of Ajo.
Yes.
It looks like you have a federal hold. So no matter
Yes.
due on this case, you're gonna be held until that one gets resolved.
Yeah. One or 20, Pinal County, and marshals took, not the marshal, Pinal County took me in, and they said they called the marshal, and I was not or something, and they just released me. And I didn't understand that,
So,
one time, I even tried to turn myself in.
time.
They told me that I was a priority, I have other serious.
Mr. Juan, hang on. So today, what I'm here to see you on is a misdemeanor charge of obstructing or refusing to provide your true name. That's what you're here for today on, okay? That's all I'm seeing you for. You have the right to remain silent on that. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I am going to release you on that charge. You're not going to be held. I'm going to give you a court date in Ajo Justice Court of October 7th at 9 a.m. You have to appear in Ajo October 7th at 9 a.m. for that obstructing charge. Okay? But, so that's what's happening on this new case. But like I said, right now, the jail is showing that you have a federal hold. And so they're not going to release you until they figure out what's going on with that. So I just want to let you know that's why you're being. The jail there will very likely contact whoever the agency is holding you and let them know that you've been released and they need to come get you. Usually they're given anywhere from 1 to 3 days to come pick you up and take you to wherever it is that you need to go to get your federal case resolved. So if they're not here within 72 hours, then it's very likely that the jail would release you and they'll figure it out from there. But they do have to give the feds an opportunity to come pick you up on those. That should be what happens, yes. So again, if the jail calls and says, hey, they can come get you, they also can say, never mind, we don't want him, and then the jail would release you here. But I don't know anything about that, Mr. Juan, so all I can tell you is, again, you're being released on this charge. I've given you a court date that you have to appear for, and then the jail will do the rest with the feds, okay? Right.
It sounds the same.
It sounds like the same thing. Right. It should, usually they are gonna come get you within a day. I'm not sure how AHO works, but usually it's within a day. Sometimes jurisdictions will ask for up to 3 days, and that's not unreasonable, but that'll be up to the jail to decide what they want to do and when they say they're gonna come get you, okay? All right, you're all done, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone at AHO. Have a good day.